Hello everyone, this is R.S. Miller at the endtimenews.org and today is October 29th, 2013. Pakistani victims of U.S. drone attack to appear before Congress despite setbacks. A Pakistani school teacher and his children will be the first drone victims to testify before Congress on Tuesday, October 29th. Here's a report by RT.
First time in its history, U.S. Congress is to hear directly from a family of survivors of an American drone strike in Pakistan. The main question is why their grandmother was blown to pieces while looking after her garden. RT's Ganesh Jakan spoke to the family.
Why do you think your grandmother was killed?
I don't know. That's one of the reasons why we came here. I have no idea why my grandmother was killed.
What did you do when it blew up? Did you run? What were you doing?
When the drone hit, I was outside with my grandmother. Everything became dark. I was scared, so I started to run. Then I noticed my hand was bleeding, so I tried to clean my hand, but blood kept coming out. But I was very scared, so I just kept running.
My deepest condolences for your mother's, for your loss.
My mother was killed, my children were injured. I'm so glad that people are going to hear our story. That's why we came to America. We have no idea why our village and my house was targeted.
This is going to be the first time when the U.S. Congress, that generally approves of drone strikes, will hear from innocent victims of those strikes. The Raymond family from Pakistan are going to tell their story, and they hope to hear answers where this is all going. Why do they have to live in fear every day, and why was their grandmother killed? In Washington, RT, I'm Ganesh Jakan.
Worst storm in years. St. Jude storm wreaks havoc across North Europe. At least 13 dead. At least 13 have been killed as violent storms have battered the UK, the Netherlands, Germany, Sweden, and parts of northern France, cutting off power and felling trees and scaffolding. According to the latest reports, the storm has ravaged through the Baltic Sea region, causing blackouts and transport collapses. In Sweden, where winds reached speeds of 42 meters per second, the storm left 92,000 without electricity. In Estonia, St. Jude caused power cuts to over 50,000 households as more than 2,500 electrical substations went out of order. 3 towns with total population of 68,000 people and over 2,000 households remain without electricity in Latvia. St. Jude has reached Russia's northern capital of St. Petersburg, where a gale warning has forced authorities to activate city flood protection systems. The storm has already led to electrical power outages in 208 towns and villages in the Russian Leningrad region, leaving over 30,000 people without electricity, according to the emergency ministries. U.S. Secretary of State Kerry says U.S. won't succumb to fear tactics when pursuing Iran talks. The renewed international negotiations over Iran's nuclear program are an opportunity to put to test the Islamic Republic's intentions, and it would be the height of irresponsibility to let fear tactics and forces that suggest otherwise block those negotiations, U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry said on Monday. Kerry's comments appear to constitute a response to Israel's repeated warnings to the international community over Iran's true intentions regarding negotiations. Israel has said it believes Iran is using the talks as a stalling tactic while it marches forward toward the bomb, with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu repeatedly asserting that Tehran is duping the world and has no intention of halting its rogue nuclear program. The U.S. is engaged in an opportunity to try to put to test whether or not Iran really desires to pursue a peaceful program and will submit to the standards of the international community in the effort to prove that to the world, Kerry said, speaking in Washington, D.C. at a Plowshares Fund event. Some have suggested that somehow there's something wrong with even putting that to the test, the Secretary of State continued. I suggest that the idea that the United States of America, as a responsible nation to all of humankind, would not explore that possibility would be the height of irresponsibility and dangerous in itself, and we will not succumb to those fear tactics and forces that suggest otherwise, he said. Friends, the Bible tells us to live peaceably among all men as much as possible. But what happens if it is not possible? In my opinion, even the attempt to make peace with Iran in the light of trust, mutual respect, and cooperation is a little like attempting to convince a pack of wild wolves not to eat the rancher's sheep. Raymond Ibrahim, an American research librarian, translator, author, and columnist, wrote an article titled Islam's Doctrines of Deception. I'll read a little and place a link in the box below. According to Ibrahim, the fact that Islam legitimizes deceit during war cannot be all that surprising. Strategist Sun Tzu from 722 to 221 BC, and Italian political philosopher Machiavelli from 1469 through 1527, and English philosopher Thomas Hobbes from 1588 through 1679 all justify deceit in war. However, according to all four recognized schools of Sunni jurisprudence, war against the infidels goes on in perpetuity until all chaos ceases and all religion belongs to Allah. That's in the Quran 8:39. According to the Definitive Encyclopedia of Islam, Brill Online Edition, the duty of the jihad exists as long as the universal domination of Islam has not been obtained. Peace with non-Muslim nations is therefore a provisional state of affairs only. The chance of circumstances alone can justify it temporarily. Furthermore, there can be no question of genuine peace treaties with these nations. Only truces, whose duration ought not, in principle, to exceed 10 years, are authorized. But even such truces are precarious, inasmuch as they can, before they expire, be repudiated unilaterally should it appear more profitable for Islam to resume the conflict. The concept of obligatory jihad is best expressed by Islam's dichotomized worldview that pits Dar el-Islam, which is the House of Islam, against Dar el-Harb, which is the House of War, or non-Muslims, until the former subsumes the latter. Muslim historian and philosopher Khaldun, from 1332 to 1406, articulated this division by saying, "In the Muslim community, holy war, or jihad, is a religious duty. Because of the universalism of the Muslim mission and the obligation to convert everybody to Islam, either by persuasion or by force, the other religious groups did not have a universal mission, and the holy war was not a religious duty for them, save only the purpose of defense. But Islam is under obligation to gain power over other nations." During Secretary Kerry's comments on Monday, he also made the statement that our eyes are wide open, adding that the actions on the part of Iran to demonstrate the peaceful intentions of its nuclear program must be real and fully verifiable. But again, the concept of obligatory jihad is best expressed by Islam's dichotomized worldview that pits Dar el-Islam against Dar el-Harb, until the former subsumes the latter. To put it differently, it is a lesson on how to rope a dope. The peace plan that the world is attempting to implement in the Middle East, will fail miserably, and ultimately will become World War III. In the book of Exekiel, chapter 38, "Now the word of the Lord came to me, saying, Son of man, set your face against Gog of the land of Magog, the prince of Rosh, Meshech, and Tubal, and prophesy against him, and say, Thus says the Lord God, Behold, I am against you, O Gog, the prince of Rosh, Meshech, and Tubal. I will turn you around, put hooks into your jaws, and lead you out, with all your army, horses, and horsemen, all splendidly clothed, a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. Persia, which is Iran, Ethiopia, and Libya are with them, all of them with shield and helmet. Gomer and all its troops, the house of Togarmah from the far north, and all its troops. Many people are with you. Prepare yourself and be ready, you and all your companies that are gathered about you, and be a guard for them. After many days you will be visited. In the latter years you will come into the land of those brought back from the sword, and gathered from many peoples on the mountains of Israel, which had long been desolate." This prophecy is developing right before our eyes, and it must be understood that it is going to happen. Iran's apparent willingness to suddenly become a partner in a non-nuclear proliferation treaty, to play by the rules of those nations which it views as big or little Satans, is merely a smokescreen for a gullible West. World War III is coming, and it won't be long now before the bombs begin to fall. That is, bombs as in nuclear. I don't know about you, but I'm looking forward to the day that the sign of Jesus Christ appears in the sky, and the command goes out to come up hither, and in the twinkling of an eye, all of us who believe in Jesus Christ are gone. What a glorious day that will be. Are you saved? Follow the link in the box below and pray the prayer of salvation with a sincere heart, and you will be saved. May God bless you.